Okay, so Albert served in Europe, the European theater. Was he finished then after the end
No,
of?
then he got on a boat and he went through the Panama Canal and he went to Japan. And he went into the Philippines and then he lived on just bananas for a couple of weeks. He loved bananas, but he said there he gained weight because he ate so many bananas, but the food, he just couldn't stand it. And a lot of times he said, you see that they kill them animals and they got them hanging in right outside, and the flies and everything are flying around them. And he said, well, he knew better because he was raised on a farm and he knew how they butchered, and he couldn't stand to eat that meat.
Okay, so after VJ, so he served in Japan, and then when VJ he served, did he have to do anything heroic in Japan? Do you know?
He never talked to much about that too much, but.
So then he came home, so the war ended in August of 45. Did he come home in August of 45?
No, he didn't come home till in January, the last part of January.
January 46?
Yeah, 46, he came home in January.
And then did you get married in January 46?
No, we got married in October.
Okay, so what did he do and what did you do from January to October?
Well, he found a job at Washington here at Blackman's Machine Shop, and he was a welder, and he was a very handy man at fixing things. I know all the farmers enjoyed him because they'd bring their stuff and he could weld it and fix it all together. And I stayed working at the shoe factory until finally I quit, and then I went to babysitting and I took care of little children.
So how did you find out that he actually got back to Washington or the United States? Did he just arrive home? Did he go home to his mom and dad's?
No,
or
he called.
He called you?
He called
on
me.
A telephone?
Yeah, he called me when he was, I don't know where town he was at, but he was and he was coming home, and then he was going to come home on the train. So I took off a little earlier from shoe factory and I walked down to the depot, and here he wasn't there. Or it was a bus. He was coming, I guess, on the bus. He was coming on the bus. And here he got off on 5th Street, and he walked down the hill because it was right off of 5th Street where we lived. And I come home, and here he was at the house where I stay, and he was home, and he beat me there. I was really disappointed when he didn't come home first, but then he was there. And then we went to his mother and dad's house. He lives on a farm in Beaufort, Missouri.
So he visited you first before he visited his parents?
Well, they were coming in to get him.
Okay.
Well, we called his parents, and then they come and got him.
Okay.
And then I went along with him. We went out there, and I took off from the shoe factory for a couple of days.
All right. Okay, so then you got married in October, so you dated from January or February until October. Then you got married in October. So was he normal? Was he having flashbacks? Was he worried about the war?
He had trouble like his with eating. A lot of times his stomach would be upset. And
put your hand down. Put your hand down.
And sometimes his stomach would be upset. And I know after we were married, that year we got a brand new blanket. And here he was at night. He would get that blanket, that silky ribbon on the end. And he'd just chew on that thing. You know, he did that in his sleep. And I had to rebind my brand new blanket because he chewed the binding off my blanket. And I thought that was kind of sad that he was that nervous. But during the day he wasn't that bad, but at nights it worked on him so.
Did he ever have problems of hearing firecrackers, that he thought that those were bombs or anything?
No, he didn't care for that firecracker. I know at 4th of July. I don't know if we went to that. We wanted to go, but he wasn't in for going to hear that because you know that upsets him. You know when he heard all that shooting and everything.
Okay. All right. Tell me about. Fast forward to about 25, 30 years later. Your daughter Joyce and her husband Joe and their little child Brian Simons are stationed in Germany, and you and Albert Dad go over to visit Joyce and Joe, and you're riding on a bus, and there's a German man driving it, and the bus breaks down. Will you talk about that experience?
Yeah, we were driving, and there was trouble with the bus, and then finally the bus driver, he pulled over on the side. And most people were all sleeping. It was getting pretty late into the night already. And here he